Hello, Lino. I can see you're here with us. We are just waiting a few minutes, okay? And then we can start. I'm seeing we have people join us. Team, Rebecca, Eduardo, Devon, thank you for being here. We are just waiting a few minutes. Feel free to get comfortable, maybe get a water, a cup of tea or coffee, okay? And we start in a few minutes. Sarah is here with us as well. All the community members, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate that. I am good, Rebecca is asking. Thank you for ask. Pretty good. Waiting for Friday. One more minute and we can start, guys. And you, how you are doing? We have people from all over the world here, Brazilians and Canada. How is the things over there? You can use the chat, okay? I still talking with myself here, but you can use the chat to answer. Great. Warm day in Toronto, great. Ribeirão Preto, São Paulo, Brazil, nice. Yeah, tell the city that you are actually. It's a good idea, Tobias. So we have Toronto, we have Ribeirão Preto from Brazil, Zurich team, beautiful day in Zurich. Here in Curitiba is a really great day too. And Fernanda is in Buenos Aires. And how is the weather in Buenos Aires, Fer?
Here it's a rainy day.
Rainy day, okay.
Yeah.
And nice. It's good. I like cloudy days too. Guatemala, nice. You can Krakow too. Whoa, so nice. Yeah. I can try speak Spanish with Fair Celeste. Okay, I will wait just one more minute. São Paulo, Mozart is here. Susan, Mozart from Pipefy is here just to see your presentation. Look how special you are. And Mozart is a very special too. We miss you, Mozart.
Yes.
Also Curitiba, great. Okay. Shall we begin? Let's begin. I think we have the crew already, and who is entered the room can join us anytime actually. Okay, guys. So thank you for being here with us today for the March meetup. It's always a pleasure to bring another free and online event for you. Today we have the opportunity to check this incredible use case and connect with other users too, and to connect with Susan, brilliant Susan. And actually to help me in this journey, I have my dear friend from Buenos Aires, Fer. Hi, Fer. Thank you again for being here with me, okay? Thank you. You want to say hi to everyone? Maybe try Spanish?
Yeah. Yeah, hello, buenos días, buenas noches, no sé de dónde están hablando. Okay. Hello, everyone. Everything's good. So, for those who don't know me yet, I'm one of the CSMs here at Pipefy, and I work directly helping our clients to achieve their goals. And it's a pleasure to be here again, and I sure will love this case today.
Celeste is saying that you have a great Spanish. Great. So I have a few topics actually to cover before the case. One of them is the open office hour that is back. So it's basically an online free webinar that we run for users. The main goal is allow you to connect with our support team and ask the questions you like, okay? It's free, it's online, and it happens every Wednesday. So you just need to go to events and office hours category in the community, and then you can find all the days that we are doing the webinar, and also the Zoom links in the community. Okay. Another cool topic is that this month we launched two new improvements in our platform, shared inbox and forms. So shared inbox, you don't let emails unanswered anymore or forgotten. You stay on top of deadlines and team accountability, and also you can collaborate with peers and get work done. Okay, and with Pipefy forms, you will be able to build functional and attractive smart forms. Okay, no coding required, and superchange your forms with workflows and engage with stakeholders throughout the entire process. And the best part, both are for free, okay? And you can pre-register in the community, okay? Just go to the community and you can see, as you are seeing right now, we have the links there. So you can access this content too. And one more thing, if you're not part in the community yet, join us to access exclusive content, getting to know other users, and be part of special promotions, and also connect with our Pipefy team. And now I will let you with Susan. She will present the Boulder longevity case. Susan, thank you again for being here. It's so great to see you, seeing how you are using Pipefy. So the stage is yours. I will let you share your screen. And thank you again. And guys, if you want to ask questions, you just need to use the chat or the Q&A session in the Zoom. Okay. Thank you again.
Great. Well, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm going to share my screen now. And the one thing with my presentation is I took screenshots of our pipes because the practice that we have is Boulder Longevity Institute. It is a medical practice, so it's all HIPAA compliant. So I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally show anyone's real names. So we'll see how that goes so far. So let me start by sharing my screen. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So really I titled this Platform for Growth because as you'll see in moving through this, we really started at a small company and utilized Pipefy to help us grow. We wouldn't have gotten there if we really didn't have Pipefy as our backbone in doing it. And right now I've actually moved from doing strategic operations for Boulder Longevity to the marketing director. And what's really cool about that is we have our operations in place enough that I can move to marketing. Before we weren't able to actually do marketing because we needed to have the operations in place to be able to grow. And so in looking at that, I'm just doing marketing, but actually my background is more in data and operations. I started out working for a project management company on the Oracle database. And so I worked for a lot of large aerospace and defense and utility companies, looking at their data, how it flowed, and developing databases for them. And then I eventually worked for Oracle, where I developed a lot of prototypes and stuff. So it was really looking at the integration of data through different means. And then I moved into public relations for Oracle. So now I'm back to square one doing operations. And so when I was first, I'm going to show you what we'll talk about, but today of why we use Pipefy, and it was introduced to me and someone's like, okay, well, here's some, we're using Pipefy, would you be interested in looking at it? And when I did, I was like, oh, this would solve so many of our issues. That would be awesome. So what I want to walk through today is where we started with Pipefy, different problems that we solved with it, integrations we're using, and things that we learned. So the first thing about Boulder Longevity was started in 2006 by Dr. Elizabeth Yurth. She was had an orthopedic practice, and she had a lot of clients come in who just were not healing. So she started this other practice on the side that looked at their optimizing their health to look at preventative medicine to actually help them heal. Because in the US, with our mainstream medicine, really the doctors could only see patients for like 15 minutes at a time. And you can't really get to the root cause of someone's issues in that time. So she started this small practice, and it was just her and 2 other employees. They were part-time. She had her other practices as well. And so it was just word of mouth, and there were no processes. The processes were just the one person in the office knew how to do everything. When they hired more employees, she did write things down, but it was all on paper. So we really, when we decided to grow, we need to really look at the processes themselves to enable the company to growth. And so now it's more than just a clinic. We also sell supplements. We have a store, which is called OHP Health. And we just launched in March our Human Optimization Academy, which is an online educational site. We're also launching some courses and rolling those out right now. So you'll see how we're using Pipefy and all different means of these. And again, the title of this is growth, because everyone keeps saying at the office, we could never have been able to grow if we didn't have this. So that's the whole mode of our company. And also some things you'll see how we use the pipes is that it is a high touch service. So we really needed to have hands-on with that. So the challenges we had, this started in 2018. There was no CRM. Everything was paper-based. There wasn't consistent communication. We had a lot of part-time staff. So people had duplicate efforts. Things were taking a long time to get done. And the medical records that we had, the system did not manage workflow. So that's where we started. And this is when we were introduced to Pipefy. So the first thing that we did is looked at a CRM. So I developed a public pipe, which you can see up here. And this allowed people, we linked it to our website where we can actually capture leads. I know it's a novel concept, but we were not really even capturing leads. So once they became leads, they moved into this pipe called client engagement. And this one really enabled us to finally have templates. And we were able to send consistent information out. We were able to track them. And then, as you can see on this card, again, I made everything for me. So we wouldn't use other people's information, but we use labels a lot. The salespeople, it works well for them. Everyone knows what's going on. And then we also have integrations to ActiveCampaign. And so once they get started, we just send drips off through Zapier, and that works really well for us. The other area for our workflow, and this again was in 2018, is we had to create pipes for onboarding our clients, caring for them once they were on, since they were clients, since it was such a high touch service that we have. And a big issue for us was managing labs, because we had a lot of people coming in and getting their labs done. And one thing with that is when we looked at our pipes, our labs are something that that other pipes would use. So we use them in making a connected pipe. And again, when I created a card in this pipe, we automatically labeled it as that their lab rec was not done. And this was really important to us because we can have a part-time person come in. They could just sort and filter cards based on this label, and they could just get all the lab work done. It just really helped us manage and delegate work with our employees. And the other area that was huge was we were able to send out personalized emails for labs. What was happening before is, and this is an example, this is a PDF that's created by Pipefy. And all the areas in here, all the pieces are when they come into the pipe here, where this phase is pick options for lab instructions. And so I have in here different fields that actually they just go and pick different things, and it populates with those variables. So even things like they want to go to the site, they can specialize that. They know what their orders are, so they can say, oh, for this one, fast or not. What they were doing before, they would, again, this was paper-based, so they would actually print out lab orders and go to a file cabinet and put them in the months that they'd have to pull it out, and then go and send emails to people. But then they would go in manually and edit all the emails they would send. And so you can imagine how time consuming that was. And with this, what we did is when they picked their instructions for the lab letter to go out to the client, they would also say what date they wanted it sent on. And so in the pipe, it would just sit here. And once that date hit, it would move it to the next phase, and they would automatically send out the appropriate email for them. And this really changed things for the people in the office a lot. And the other two huge things that happened when we first started working on this is that we really started looking at processes as a group, and we were able to, agile development was huge, because we could sit down and I would sit down with them and say, okay, here's a checklist. Everyone look at this. Is this everything that we're doing? And then some people would say, oh, wait, I'm doing that as well. And it really helped us with the whole communication and figuring out the process together. And it got rid of, everyone would say sometimes, oh, I thought you were doing that. No, I thought you're doing that. So that piece helped a ton. And that the ability that everyone then had access. It just wasn't one person that knew what was going on with the client. Anyone could pull them up in the pipe and see where they were at and what they needed. Again, looking at some things from a part-time person, if there was a checklist of things they had to do and they only got through 2 of the things and they had to go home, someone else could come in and finish that up. And there was no duplicate efforts in doing that. So 2019, we had more challenges. We had more staff because we were growing. We had issues in billing with our EMR. And we also then felt we can start to do some marketing with some events. So with this, what we did is created a billing pipe. And what's interesting about this is the issues we have with our EMR is it was inconsistent about notifying people that notifying our staff that someone needed to be billed. So when talking about it on a Friday, I said, well, why don't I just create a billing pipe and you can put it in there and our accountant, our bookkeeper can go through it. And the first answer back was, well, how long is that going to take? And I said, well, I can have it for Monday. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, Monday, that would be so awesome. And so everyone, it worked. And so it was nice because we were able to simply get some things up and people were used to using it. And then also when we grew our staff, it turned out one of the easy way to train them was to have them sit with Pipefy, because it was giving them the steps they needed to do to move things forward. So that was incredibly helpful. And then I even used it when we had an event presentation and we had registration and people come and sign up. We just had Pipefy to do that. So 2020, we all know we have a ton of challenges in 2020. But in addition to just in general, the challenges, the huge ones for us is we added new services and everything moved to telemedicine with COVID and with things shutting down. And so I had to take a look at redesigning our pipes. And so this is our customer journey. We have client engagement. I showed you guys a little bit. This is our CRM with that. And what we do is people come in and they will do an assessment with some of our providers. It's an intro to our program. And so the client engagement is one sales cycle. And then when they come in and they do an assessment, here's another sales cycle that happens. And then they decide if they want to stay with us for preventative care and sign a yearly program. So typically before COVID, we would have clients come in the office. And so they just had a paper document to sign to agree to the program. But since people weren't coming in anymore, we decided we had to move to DocuSign. So how we did a lot of this, let me go through a few things. One, in terms of our new services, this is our pipe where we manage our client visits. And we do a few different things with this now. And again, it's high touch. So we want to make sure that everyone is happy all along the way. So we took a step back. I redesigned the pipes. I actually put in, at this point, we decided we had to use the database to control things, because with the new service, we looked at how each of the different services were treated differently, what the processes were that were different. And so the pieces that were different, I use conditionals a lot. So I would display different checklists based on the service. I would take the client service, look at that, and use conditionals of what checklists off that they would do on the back end on the administrative side. And then things that were similar, we could just use other pipes and connect them to that for those similar activities. We also do things a lot where we want to make sure that we see them every quarter. So we have different phases. When they're done, we know they go to a particular phase, and we know that they've been checked off, that we've seen them. We ask about their customer experience. And if I go and flag them if someone says, oh, they're just okay, I'm not sure. And if they're flagged this way, they get moved to a special phase called at risk. So we know that they're labeled and they go to this phase, so someone could be monitoring, okay, I need to reach out to this client, make sure that they're doing okay, and just touch base with them. And then going back to my DocuSign is we created this one pipe that every year we renew our clients. So we use Zapier in connection with DocuSign. So when someone signs, it creates a card for them and puts them in this signed agreement. And then someone doing the billing takes it, and then they have instructions in billing what to do. We can flag them with labels if they get special billing, or the credit card failed, or whatever needs to be done. But at this phase, what was really frustrating us is we really wanted to initiate it from within Pipefy, within the card. So what this does is we would actually send out DocuSigns through DocuSign, but they would just be coming into this pipe here. So this is where we reached out to Pipefy when we were so lucky to find Mozart, because we had all these requirements we needed to do to be able to get where we wanted. And the first thing was we had different DocuSign. So we had different DocuSign templates that we would send out to people, and we would send it out per provider that we had, and also per month, because we would prorate what the cost was for the year, depending on when they signed. And so at the end of the day, every month we had 6 different DocuSign templates to use, and they changed every month. And we also, on the admin side, we would send them sample templates. So we would then put those in DocuSign in Pipefy to use to send out. So we had to change those on the admin side. So it was starting to get into a nightmare where we're like, oh my gosh, we just can't handle this. It's too much. So we were so happy that Mozart would work with us. So we wanted to be able to just put all of the information for the year and make it one dynamic agreement, template agreement in DocuSign, and store the data in a Pipefy database. And so we didn't have to touch it every month. It was just all in there. So it would have what the agreement was, what the amounts would be that we would discount per month, and all of that. And then a big thing for us, we wanted to be able to send this from inside the card, and we wanted to send it from any phase. And then once the person signed it, we wanted to come back to that same card and label it that it was received. And so the notifications that we wanted were, we wanted a text to go out, and we also to the client to say, hey, look for this DocuSign, and then also send a Slack message to the staff when it's completed. So this is the process. It looks a little complicated, but I'll walk you through it. So what we did is and this is just a statement field that we have in one of our phases, and it tells them exactly what to do. And we decided this so that they can access this from any phase in the pipe, that we were going to put these fields in the first phase. So that's why we always told them, just go back to the history, go and edit it, and you can always send it from any phase at all. So what they would do is they would come into the one of the fields in the first phase, and this is the database field that I was talking about. So they would come in here and they would search for which agreement they needed to send out. Once they pick this, they would then just go down to a field called Send DocuSign Now. And it had 3 options: one to send, yes, send it now, one already sent, and the one that when the client was signed. So now all someone has to do is they come down here and they click, when they hit yes, send the DocuSign, from within the card, it immediately goes and sends a text to the client that it's available. And then it goes and does a few things. So then it changes the label on the card to this green one that DocuSign sent to client. So anyone looking at the cards quickly could see or filter by which DocuSigns were sent. It also goes back to this field here and changes it to already sent. So if someone opens up the card, they know that it was already sent by the field or by the label. Once the customer signs it, then it goes back to the same card. It changes the label to signed, the client signed the DocuSign. It goes back to this field and it changes it from already sent to client signed. And then this part is really cool for us. It sends a Slack message to the employees that someone did sign it. And it also has a link to this card, and the card has the link to our Google Drive because it puts the DocuSign on our drive. And so it exists there. So all the person has to do is just click on it to see it, and then they can just upload it to the EMR portal so that the client can have the record of it. So this is what used to take, this is the savings that we had. So we have 6 different DocuSigns every month. So we have 1 per provider per month. So the person on the back end to get things ready administratively had to edit it in DocuSign and then test the emails for every one of those templates. Then the person actually, the admin person sending the DocuSign to the customer, they had to find the correct, find the right DocuSign to send to the customer. Then they had to call the customer to say, look out for this DocuSign, I sent it. And then they had to keep going into DocuSign to monitor it to see that it was sent back. And then they had to go get it out of DocuSign, download it, and then put it into our Google Drive. So as you can see now that it all happened automatically, people are so happy. Everyone in the office knows Mozart because they keep telling him we were so lucky to find him to help us to do all this, because we have all these time savings. And just in January, February, we sent 21 of these, and they are so easy for people to send now. They just have to go in quickly and then hit send, and then to be able to filter to see where people stand is really awesome. So our top integrations that we use today, we use a lot of ActiveCampaign for drip messages to get them started once they get in client engagement. So we use a combination of the Pipefy email templates, but definitely we do a lot with ActiveCampaign. And DocuSign, now that's really an integral part of what we do. And everyone loved the fact that we could send the text messages to clients before we sent DocuSign. So now everyone's asking, now can we do more text messages for other things for our clients? Like to say, we started you, we got your inquiry and things like that. And so I just also wanted to take a step back and looking at it and talk about the lessons that we learned in going through this in the last few years. And the big thing that we found is to get buy-in from the staff to use it is they really need to see value. They don't want to see it. We were really careful in designing it that we didn't want to have people do duplicate work. So we didn't want them to do stuff in the EMR and then also have to go into Pipefy to see Pipefy as documenting versus using Pipefy as a tool to help improve their workflow and make their life easier. So the more that we did things like DocuSign, the more value that they see and the happier they are with that. Another thing that we learned was that we really needed to have someone managing our pipes. So when we did it originally the first time, people are just focused on their little area versus the overall management. So that was a huge revelation for us. It seemed obvious, but in the end, we had a little discrepancy of things of people not doing, just small issues of people would have their checklist and they would check it off because they meant to do it and versus that they really did do it. So there was a lot of just working with people to understand that, and also understanding what our key measurements are. Because at one point we were measuring how quickly people were closing out appointments. And so that was the measurement versus that they were doing them correctly and setting up the next appointment correctly. So part of it, we had to, you know, the area of balancing for us was balancing what technology we were using, the process, but also the people, and not forgetting the people aspect of using that. And looking at all the tools that we have and deciding, you know, with using a lot of integration, what is the best tool for the job and for that particular group or person, and making that part of the process. So I think the last thing I wanted to leave you with is just the idea that change is inevitable, like change is going to happen, but just setting yourself up so that when you do have change, that you're intentional about how you're doing it, and then your processes will be better. Because what I always learned in all my time in when I worked for Oracle and designing databases, just because you can design them quickly and easily, you need to take the time to really think through about how you're doing the design. And this, we use that same process in our Pipefy realm of what makes the milk sense process wise. So we're setting ourselves up for the future, where we started with just one service that we offered and then had to redesign our pipes a little bit to accommodate growth. And we really did use it to grow all along. So that's our use case.
Great, Susan. Wow, looks like it's magic, right? Great to see. I remember that when we were in the beginning of the community, we invited Mozart to present the integrations as a new feature, and was a huge success, because I don't know if you guys know, but Mozart is a teacher, so he's really good in explain and really good guy. And actually, Mozart, I can open your mic if you want to share with us a little more about the case, and also talk with Susan. I don't know if you're listening to me right now. But yes, great. I will open your mic. Let me, we have two Mozarts here, so I will allow both of them. Yeah. Are you with us? No? I can hear you. No, I'm not hearing.
He already answered
No?
yes here in our chat. So
Yeah. Okay. We have, I think, Giovanni is also using the link that probably Mozart is using. Is not a problem, because Giovanni is from Pipefy team.
Yes,
So
you caught me. I was trying to stay quiet
yes, you're a
and and
spy here.
and see if you were trying to unmute a Mozart. So you probably need to click on the other Mozart.
Okay. Let me see. No, I can't. Fair, you can try if you want, because I couldn't. Yeah, but Susan, great to see how you start using Pipefy for just like one process, and then expanding the use and getting more time to do other tasks, and it's great. It's great. How many people you have in your team?
So right now we have 10 people.
10 people. Okay, great.
Yeah, and so the next thing moving forward for us is, since I am doing more marketing, and our medical director is doing more podcasts, so I'm also now I have a pipe that I've created for content creation. So we're using that to make sure we're on top of our podcasts and our content creation, and sending that off to our different content writers that we want to do more stuff, because then we just easily send them over the key points. And we actually, our medical director, who's not technical at all, just told me the other day, she's like, you'd be so proud of me. I I used the attachment in Pipefy and I attached my video. So everyone's starting to use it for a lot of different things, which is very cool.
This is good. Yeah, we tried Mozart. We didn't.
True. But about the integrations, I can talk a little bit because we
Yeah.
got a lot of questions
That's
here
right.
about the integrations. So, team, today creating an integration with Pipefy is easy, and we have 3 forms for to do it. The first one, let me say, our API is open. So you can use your development team to create these integrations, or you can use a platform like Susan said, and Tobias said here in our chat too. You can use Zapier Integromat for integrate Pipefy and the platform that you need. And even better, I don't know if you know, but now, like you said in the beginning, we got a feature for this here in Pipefy. And we got more than 500 platforms that can be integrated with Pipefy. So the first thing that you need to do and send to us the interest of this integration, and we will open a study of all that you need if it's able and integrate this with our team, and our team will build this integration for you and manage them every month, every day. So like many people asked here how we can do this. If you use a Zapier or an Integromat or your team, you need to do by yourself the integration. But with our team, we'll take care for you of all of this. All you need to say to us, okay, so I need send a document that is in Pipefy to my client with DocSign. Okay, so we'll create this for you. And I can say that the cost here depends how many texts that you need, of course, but starts pretty cheaper. We got plans with less than $40 per month. So please, if you are interested in this feature, ask to us, send a message here in our chat, ask for our chat in the platform, because this feature is for you. We want to add and power do for everything team.
Great, Fer. We have another questions. Actually, we have a bunch of questions. I will ask Fer to cover it and help Susan and ask Susan to help as well to reply. So Fer, feel free.
Okay. So Tobias asking us, oops, how you change the tags DocuSign on the card, Susan, using Zapier?
Sorry, I had to unmute.
No.
No, actually, I use automations to change the labels. So what I do is part of what the integration that Mozart did is he changed the that one field that said send DocuSign. So when that field gets updated to client signed, then I had an automation that just changed the field that changed the label.
So you did this inside Pipefy, right?
Inside Pipefy, yes.
Okay. We got more questions here. How many weeks the integrations took to build? 1 week, 2 weeks? Like you said for.
It didn't take too long to build the integrations. I think we started in December. So it took a few weeks, but that was over Christmas time. And a lot of it also was on our end. We had to create a dynamic DocuSign document and work with the variables. But actually going back testing with Mozart, it didn't, just a few weeks.
We got one more here. Sarah asks us, in order to integrate Pipefy and DocSign, did you have to work with staff from both companies, like Mozart here from Pipefy, able to configure all with you without having to get more help from DocSign? How was this process for you?
Yeah, we did everything. We just worked with ourselves and with Mozart. and it was really easy. And he knew DocuSign well, so if we had any issue, he would work through it. But it was really a very, very seamless process.
Nice. And talking about integrations, we got one more here. How hard was to build automations and integrations? Do you have a teach team with you?
No, it's me. So I'm the team, but I did not build. So we had our one salesperson, our CEO, actually developed the DocuSign because he was working on those DocuSigns. So it was just mostly me and Mozart, but mostly Mozart to actually do the integration. So I think the process on my end was just really quick and easy. So I just had to do a few on my end, was just doing the automations and just talking it through. I just talked through the requirements with Mozart, and he came up with some great, like I wasn't even thinking to do a Slack message, send something to a Slack channel. And on my end, I just had to create the Slack channel. And then he was really smart to say, oh, let's just actually connect it to the card. And that was even easier because then someone, if you clicked on it in Slack, you went directly to that client's card. So you didn't have to go in and filter to find them. So everything that we did was really thought through on what would really optimize things for the admin staff to do it. And on their end, I just showed them once and they just took it over, and I don't hear from them at all. So it's actually really nice.
Amazing. About integrations, Marili asked us, I saw that integrations are for the enterprise plan, but if it's our own developer that makes the integration, can we do it on the pro plan? Yes, of course, you can do it by another platform like Zapier or Integromat or with your development team. I will send you here a link that will help you with this and your team to create these integrations. But if you want integration by Pipefy, like I said, you need to be in the enterprise plan. It's just available for the enterprise plan.
Great.
We
can
got
go.
just so okay. We got just Devon Quest here. I don't know if is a question. Devon, please correct me if I was wrong. Just confirming that Pipefy is 100 HIPAA compliant. I don't know how to say the word
HIPAA,
here.
HIPAA compliant. So for us, we're careful about the information that we send through any emails through ActiveCampaign or through Pipefy. So there are things for HIPAA compliance. It is in a secure environment, so we do use it for that. But anything that's truly medical, we have to send through our EMR portal because of HIPAA compliance. So with HIPAA, we can send an email to someone saying, hey, look in your email for this text. It doesn't give away any medical information, so it is HIPAA compliant in that way.
Great. Yeah. So if you have more questions, you can use the community to talk with Susan, and the full recording actually will be available tomorrow in the community. Okay, so you can check again and share with your friends. And also for next month, we'll launch a special space just for developers in the community. Okay, so it's a really nice project that we are trying to bring the IT professionals and developers, because we know it's a different language, right? And we are creating the special space for them. Okay, so Susan, thank you very much. It was a great use case. I'm very happy to see how you're using Pipefy, and Fer as well. Thank you for your time. One last topic, actually, I want to ask you to fill the feedback survey that we have. I will send you the link. Right now, I don't know how to do it because working with two screens is kind of crazy. Just 1 minute. It will take just a few seconds to fill it out, so it helps a lot. And yeah, this is all fair. Susan, if you want to say goodbye, feel free.
Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. More than happy to help.
And here we would like just thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next meetup and also in the community. Okay. Bye bye.